Hi. Hello, everybody. Oh, goodness. There's been a lot going on the past couple of days. Can't say I'm terribly impressed. But, I mean, when am I ever impressed? Never. Whoops. Sadly, I am still currently using... Oh, go away. There we go. Sadly, I am still using slobs. So I'll have to get that fixed because there's a bunch of drama going on with that. Yippee skippy. Hopefully you guys like the little bit of changes that have gone on. Puck is just off camera right over there, but when he is on the couch, you should be able to see him. I did redo the room. I hope you like it. I now have a couple of different camera angles that I can utilize. The windows are now in front of me. I basically rotated the desk from this way to this way. So I've got this angle. I got this angle. How's it going? Now you can see Puck a little bit better. You can see the edge of the desk. I've also got, because I now have my setup going on here, right? I can now have you guys chilling right here while I do art. Right? Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm here for it. I like it. The rest of the room is mostly the same. That couch has been moved. Do a slow pan. Pretty much all that's the same, but the chairs have swapped places. And my computer's down there now, so hopefully it will make even less noise with any luck. And when I have this angled on this side, I'll be able to put the green screen on this wall here, but I don't have that. I need to get some pins for it. I don't have any pins yet. So we'll be able to have some green screen fun also. So I am excited. I am happy. I like the new setup. I hope you guys also like it. Hopefully the sound of my clicking and stuff gets a little bit better with the fan and like the computer fan. Up nose angle, yeah, probably. No doubt. You'll have to excuse me if I sound a little bit sniffly or a little bit tired. I am in allergy season. Yippee for me! So I'm currently bigified right now because I've made a little bit of a layout change, and mostly because I'm not going to be showing off too much today. This is mostly just let's have a talk. Let's have a chat. I saw and got a hold of Nat's upload, and I just finished listening to it. I didn't listen to like the last 5 minutes, but that's mostly because I was busy getting this ready and trying to switch from Streamlabs to Stream Elements, so I didn't manage to finish that in time for this stream, so I'll be doing that over the course of the next couple of days because, you know, the stuff going on between slobs and OBS is pretty garbage. But before I get started, I was sent some absolutely lovely art to take a look at by April, and so I put that in so we could take a look at it. Ta-da! I'll have to get used to this. There it is. There it is. Ah! I love it. It's fantastic. Isn't it great? It's super cute. It's super cute, and there's a lot of work that's gone into this. I ain't gonna lie. It's impressive. Because there's a lot of detailing there. So I just wanted to show off the art that they sent to me. And it's great. I love the colors. I love the amount of work the detailing in the hair is crazy. The detailing on the forehead is fantastic. Yeah, I think it's cute. I'm a goblin. What do you want from me? Of course I think it's cute. I also made chat a little bit larger, so hopefully on playback you guys have an easier time reading it. If, you know, when we get people like coming in to pretend they didn't support Kyle. And they end up getting removed from the live chat and you can still see it on the screen. No, I don't think so. But I figured I'd show you guys. I thought it was cute. I moved my Kleenex box too far away from me, so I'm just gonna grab that real quick and blow my nose on screen just to gross everybody out. Anyway, this is fantastic. And props to April for the very cool artwork. So OBS. Let's do just a brief thing about that. Just because I think it's kind of important and I just want to get it a little bit out of the way. They made a whole statement on Twitter. That's the wrong thing. These are my notes on Nat's video. They're not even like detailed notes. They're just very brief thoughts as things were happening. I think what I'm probably going to do is, because the stream is down, I don't really want to go through and watch the entire thing or listen to, there was no visual, so there's nothing to show, because of course there isn't. But I don't know if people want me to actually go through the whole hour, 10-ish minutes thing. I do want to talk about it, but I don't know if people are interested in a full view, play, pause, because that can be a bit much. But I do want people to be able to go back and reference what I end up talking about in this video for anybody who hasn't seen it. Because I don't like, talking out of my ass. So, you guys let me know what you think. I was thinking about just trying to make it available with my notes to it as well, so that way it's actually, I'm not gonna just put her, if you call it content, I wouldn't call it content, but you guys let me know what you think, if that's a good idea. The OBS stuff, that's right. That's where I was. Sorry. Okay, so here's what they were saying on Twitter. And it says, near the launch of Slobs, @Streamlabs reached out to us. This is OBS tweeting. The official OBS project. Reached out to us about using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did so anyway and followed up by filing a trademark. We've tried to sort this out in private, and they have been uncooperative at every turn. We're often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the... You alright, Puck? He's jumping on the couch and he kind of like missed. We're often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the two apps. Okay, I feel like my thing is not quite showing well enough. Let's do this. There we go. A little bit wider. A little bit bigger. There you go. There we go. Support volunteers are sometimes met with angry users demanding refunds. We've had interactions with several companies who do not realize our apps were separate. Legally, they have obeyed the terms of the GPL, but they have repeatedly disregarded the spirit of open source and of giving back. Despite these actions by Streamlabs, the OBS project will continue to provide free open software and tools for everybody. We will continue to support our users, the community, and our amazing developers for their hard work. Jacksepticeye responds. Because of course he does. Really thought they were associated with you guys, and just a different version. Thank you for your software. It's revolutionized the way so many of us do our jobs. So yeah, I will, I tried to get it done today, but I was too busy I was trying to listen to Nat's stream and make the changes on Streamlabs at the same time, and so I was struggling quite a bit. So needless to say, I failed, and I'm still on Slobs. But I will make that changeover once, it's probably by next stream, probably by Friday. So, I do have, let's move on to the Nat stuff, I guess, because there's a lot in that. Like a lot. I can't break down everything, and I kind of just want to talk about it a little bit. In true Nat fashion, I'm not going to show anything unless I find it very, very necessary. So I'm mostly just going to talk about it. So if you haven't seen it, spoilers. And if you plan on seeing it in the future, I will tell you what time stamps I'm talking about. So that way you can go and look for yourselves wherever you happen to find this video. Potentially I'll upload it later. I just don't want to get accused of stealing somebody's content or anything like that. So I was thinking about just making it off to the side or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. If you guys have any ideas about how to do that, you let me know. But it will also have my notes on it. So it will have commentary. So it would be under fair use anyway, but I don't know. I'll think of something. So first thing that I noticed in that video within the first 30 seconds. Actually, can I get just a idea in the chat of who's seen it? So if you can, 1 in the chat if you've heard this video and know what I'm talking about, and 2 in the chat if you have no clue. This video came out yesterday night, if I'm not mistaken. It was titled My Truth. 'Cause of course it was. 'Cause of course it was. And I have some thoughts. It's already been deleted, by the way, so I'm not terribly surprised if people haven't caught it. Didn't hear it, partly heard it, and it's horrible. Oh, hi, Rose. 2s and 1s. Okay. Alright, so it looks like there's a pretty down the line. We got a mixed bag. That's totally fine. It just gives me a good reference about how much I need to actually go over. April for 666 said, I am liking this video so hard, thank you. I do all of my stuff in pencil and pencil crayon, making making supper, so kind of watching. Yeah, no, this is mostly going to be audio today, so, you know. And Smitty, who's been a member for 18 months, says, my truth, slang for lies. Yeah, it kind of does seem like that a lot of the time, doesn't it? Okay. It was uploaded and it was deleted already. I just happened to come across it and I downloaded it. I downloaded it right away because she has a habit of putting something up and then taking it down immediately, stirring up a bunch of shit, and then disappearing. Hi, Tina. So I'm not... And that's kind of why I kind of don't want to talk about it, because sort of about how I feel about... This is not... I stand by what I said last Sunday. This is not a trustworthy source. There is really no point in hearing out what anybody has to say, since it's all supposed to be coming out in court anyway, and there's nothing getting verified. And so because there's nothing getting verified, there isn't really much value to seeing someone's words and only someone's words. And that seems to be what we have been presented with. And it seems like giving her attention, like Tina says, I think Tina is right, don't want to give her any attention. It doesn't seem like it's valuable anyway. However, I had to sit through and listen to it, so now I'm going to talk about it. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, my conclusion is like, this is nonsense. The only difference that I've noticed from this time versus last time is probably 2 things. One is that this audio is way, way more coherent. I can understand what is being said. It mostly still sounds like bullshit, but I can understand the flow of what is happening and what they're trying to say. Whereas before it was this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit contradicts this bit contradicts this bit within the same sentence. Whereas this time it's like, this bit over here contradicts this thing a couple of minutes later. So that's sort of my main takeaway. My other main takeaway was that in the very beginning of the video, she does not explain who is speaking. So for someone who, I noticed that there was a lot of emphasis in the video where she said, "This is Nat, I am Nat talking, that was my alters talking." She didn't do that in this video. In this video, there is no, like, indication of whether it is Nat talking or whether it is somebody else, one of her alters talking. And I find that suspect, because of how much emphasis was put on it when it was Nat, when it was her. I also find it a little bit odd that if this turns out to be, or is claimed down the line to be, an alter, I find it odd that the alter is more cohesive and coherent than Nat, I guess. Like, just from my takeaways from the way these videos were laid out and from what I understood of them. I should also, before I get too deep into how confusing and this nonsense is, I'm gonna take away from two creators that I actually very much enjoy listening to. Katie Daisy, if you haven't watched Katie Daisy, I definitely recommend checking out her channel, and Brittany Simon. And if you haven't watched Brittany Simon's channel, I definitely recommend you go and watch Brittany Simon's channel. And they both do something that I think is very important. Katie specifies that nobody's going to take care of your mental health like you will. So please take care of yourself. If you are stressed out, if this is something that is going to bother you, if this is something that you cannot handle, that is absolutely okay. I don't want anybody to feel pressured to have to watch something that makes them uncomfortable. It's okay. You take care of you, and nobody's going to be able to do that better than you can. So if something's not for you, there is no hard feelings. It's okay. And take care of yourself. So get yourself some water, get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, get yourself your favorite squishy blanket, whatever helps you de-stress. I'm not here to stress you out. And from Brittany, a big takeaway from watching her that I've gotten is that we're adults here, and not all content is made for everyone. And so we're going to approach these conversations and these things like struggles with mental health and struggles with all of the things that we're going to end up talking. We're going to get into a little bit of transphobia later. We're adults. We are pro-LGBTQ here. We are supportive of people who who are struggling and who are going through their own stuff. Everybody is going through something, and we are not going to shit on people because they have issues. Now, I have a personal caveat. People who have issues are still people. People make choices. Nat filmed this video. One part sounds like it's been clipped, like it sounds like it's been edited, then it was uploaded, then it was posted, then it was taken down. All of these things were choices. They were decisions made by an individual. And so we're not going to treat people who have mental issues as if they're invalids. We're not going to treat people who have any kind of disorders or disabilities as if they are not people. So they are people. They will be treated as people. That's the end of my shtick. So these are my initial notes, and these certainly aren't all of the things that are like, what? Because I could not. I was like, I cannot focus on each individual claim that is being made and whether or not it matched with what she was claiming later, because I was focusing a little bit. I was like, okay, so more accusations, because there is nothing that's actually shown in this. There's no evidence, there's no proof. There's claims that proof exists. There are claims that it will show up, but none of it actually is shown on screen. There is no links to anything. There was nada, zip, zilch, nothing. Big stinking hunk of nothing. So that's probably one of the things that I found was probably a little bit more odd, is later in the video, she's mocking people for just believing what other people have said without evidence, or what other people have done or believed her when she claims that she is bullshitting. And they believed her, right? And she's mocking people for just believing her, all while making all of these claims and explaining this situation, expecting people to just believe her. It's kind of bizarre. I don't know. I'm not sure I understand. She made this whole shtick about, I came out of nowhere. I was friends with Katie beforehand, and then I came out of nowhere doing this, that, and the other thing, and people had no idea who I was, and they're just believing me. And that was something I said on Sunday. I was just like, who is this person, and where does she come from, and why are we taking her seriously about anything at all, ever? So I don't know, I agreed with them there. I was just like, yes, I agree with you. Why would anybody listen to anything you have to say? But she's also still expecting people to take what she's said in this and run with it. I did get a couple of times I found that she was very specifically not specific. And so some of you may have heard me use that terminology before. Basically, it means you are being specific in what you're saying, but not about what you're saying. So you're being specific on what something is, but not how something is. Or you're giving enough details that people can identify it, but leaving enough vague so that way people will fill in the blanks with whatever you want them to fill in the blanks with. There's a lot of accusations about Nat claiming that KJ asked Nat to create false report him and make fake documents against Salts. It's not explained why, and so the only thing I can speculate is that it had to do with the Toddy case. Like, KJ wanted to discredit Salts, so she got this Nat person to make shit up and to bait him, I guess, and something. Then she made accusations, so that was about 1 minute and 40 seconds, and then by 5 minutes she's going on to talk about how her and Katie Joy, without a crystal ball, were colluding to try to frame and set people up like Salts and Steve. And then we kind of get, she says that she passes off all of this information to Salts, like gives her Instagram, gives her socials, gives him her entire health history, and she kind of lists out some of her health history. So I kind of thought that might be worth noting. And so this is at 8 minutes and about 6 seconds, and she says that she's diagnosed with DID, which is a dissociative identity disorder, CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, ADHD, autism, depression, anxiety, BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, and then says the works. That's a lot. And that is also, I don't know how those things would all interact with each other. So if you have borderline, disassociative, and with the way she presents her alters as being essentially completely other people, do all of them suffer from all of these things? Or I don't know. That's all. I have no idea. This is very, very confusing to me about how those each of those things would interact with the others. So I don't have any idea. I feel bad for her therapist for having to, I hope they're getting paid well. She does, again, continue to make the claims that she's been in therapy for a very long time. She said that she was diagnosed in, let's see if I can find it. Because she specified when. Let me see. I know I noted it down. Okay, yeah, she says that she was diagnosed in 2019, but she started treatment way before that. I don't know what that means. And then also she had claimed that she had been around KJ since 2017, but KJ says it's 2018, which I found bizarre because supposedly she has proof about when she was interacting with KJ, but she's like, no. That's kind of weird. Also, if she wasn't diagnosed until 2019 and all of this stuff was going, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand any of this stuff. It doesn't really mesh very well, and that it's just none of her confessions or none of her videos actually clarify anything. Because I thought at the beginning of this video she said that she was going to kind of walk everybody through what had happened, right? And I'm like, if you're going to walk everybody through and then say, well, I can't show you anything because all that evidence has to come out in court, then why are you walking anybody through it? Everybody just, one, has to take your word for it, or two, has to, there's no point. You can't show any of this, and then you're playing your hand about what evidence you have. You're just not showing the evidence itself. You're just saying you have it. This doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me. I understand nothing. That seems to be the opposite, or the counterproductive for whatever it is you're trying to do. I don't know. I don't know. 9 minutes, 30 seconds. There was, when she said she gave Saltz all of this information and contact information of her family members, her mom, etc., etc. There's been a couple of accounts that have shown up in side chats claiming to be Nat's mom. Never verified, because of course it wouldn't be verified. And gave him all of her social medias so he could go and look at them. She claims that he didn't verify anything and that he only looked at the Instagram. I don't know how she would know that. I don't know how she could definitively know that he did not verify anything. Does she mean that he never logged into anything? Because she never got, two-party authentication? I don't know what that means. Or how she could know that. Then she went on to say that he only looked at the Instagram and that he couldn't have seen anything because Nat deleted all of the convos between herself and KJ. Okay, that's not how that works. You can't delete stuff like that and it not be made available or accessible in some way. People try to do stuff like this on Twitter, where they'll delete a conversation and they'll try to delete a conversation from both sides. And majority of people, probably, I would hazard a guess, would not know that you can just request that information from Twitter. So, if Saltz is worth his salt, he would have somebody who knows a little bit, even if he doesn't know himself, he would have somebody who knows a little bit more about the tech side of things be able to look at those conversations. So if those conversations do exist and she did actually give them to Saltz, he would have access to that even if she did delete it. That's just not how that works. So I don't know if she's bullshitting. Well, okay, so she is bullshitting. She's just either bullshitting in that she doesn't know but claims to know, or is bullshitting that any of this is even true. I don't know. So, yeah, for any of you who are looking to remove or delete information from your social media account, it's not that simple. So you can't really delete things off the internet that easily. So keep yourself safe out there. The internet is not a safe place, especially vanilla internet. By vanilla internet, I mean like Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, vanilla. About 11 minutes. About 10 minutes. There's start having claims about how Nat seems to think that all of her conversations with Saltz are void because he didn't go through the proper channels / verification. So she doesn't actually explain any of that until much later. Later on in the video, she explains that because of her disorders, she can't be giving testimony, basically. I have to paraphrase because the way this is explained is very piss poor. Saltz couldn't use any of her testimonies because they needed to be verified through the proper channels via like a guardian or a parent or her psychologist. Like, she can't be talking to lawyers without somebody else present. And so somehow she thinks that voids and removes her culpability. I don't see how that would be a case. It might be possible that some information might not be allowed, like, if it brought to court, a judge might dismiss it. But I guess that's possible, but that would not remove guilt nor culpability for whatever it is you may or may not have done. Yeah, thank you, Smitty. It might not be admissible. There are certainly things that may not be admissible, and I'd be surprised if a lawyer didn't know that. And so she spends a lot of time claiming that Saltz is a shit lawyer who doesn't know what he's doing. I would be surprised to find any lawyer who does not know what is and is not admissible in court. So no. She keeps making claims that it was KJ putting her up to this. Then she brings up somebody named Dustin, and I have no idea who the hell that is. But then also says that it was not Tina, Steve, Aaron, or me, or the cult. But she is still accusing Little Miss Noble of stuff as far as goes as far as to accuse people of creating child porn. I didn't even know those accusations were out there. I learned that today. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But, you know, Nat specifically says that other people did this. I didn't do this. Oh, Dustin is a friend of Little Miss Noble's. Okay. I can't keep track. I cannot keep... I don't know, man. There's a lot of nonsense, and, like, trying to sift through, like, just this amount of rambly bullshit to try and figure out what the hell this person is actually saying, and this whole bunch, because it's a lot. She at 12 minutes 40 seconds, she claims that she knows who was creating child porn and that it had to do with Little Miss Noble and friends, and that she knows who it is and can prove it. She doesn't say who, except for Little Miss Noble, so she's still going with that. So then I found 13 seconds kind of interesting, and I might actually just play you this audio because it sounded to me like there was a cut. Like there's a cut in the audio. Let me pull it back up because I have it. I closed it. Hold on. Let me go get it. It's in my downloads. Not that downloads, my other downloads. Here it is. So I'm just gonna jump to 13 minutes, or just before 13 minutes here, and you guys tell me, because this to me sounds like an audio cut. So I'm just going to 12:45, and I'm gonna play it for you, and you guys can tell me if this sounds like something's been clipped, because it sounds like a sentence just sort of ends and then drops off, and then gets picked up again. So I'm going to, I'll play this for you guys, and you guys can tell me what you think.
No tie. I wouldn't be involved in the creation of CP. I wasn't involved in that. Like, that's sick in my mind. I know the people that were involved in it, and it wasn't just ALLLLL. It was, like... There's evidence against.
So that was the cut. You heard it's, I don't know, almost 5 seconds, or a couple of seconds of pause, and then it picks up again. And it seems to be carrying on almost another conversation, but it weirdly ties those two things together. So I'm gonna play it again for you. And you guys can, I'm not sure. It sounds like an audio cut to me. It sounds like a poor audio cut to me. I'll put it back a little bit further, so we're at 12:32.
Them, like temp emails and that, and pass them over. So there's no tie. I wouldn't be involved in the creation of CP. I wasn't involved in that. Like, that's sick in my mind. I know the people that were involved in it, and it wasn't just ALLLLL. It was, like...
And then it cuts right there. I wouldn't know, I don't like, sigh, and then the audio just stops. And then there's... Play it again.
Like, that's sick in my mind. I know the people that were involved in it, and it wasn't just ALLLLL. It was, like... There's evidence against Katie. I've got evidence against Katie.
So it's the way this is clipped. It like in the way this sounds to me is that this is clipped, and then she goes on that sounds like a separate sentence or a separate thought that she's got evidence against Katie for something. But having it right beside that child porn, it sounds like, or those accusations of child porn, it sounds like she's accusing Katie of creating child porn. people should not be accused of shit they did not do. I think that's wholly inappropriate. Tina shouldn't be accused of shit Tina didn't do. Aaron shouldn't be accused of shit Aaron didn't do. Nat shouldn't be accused of shit Nat didn't do. Katie shouldn't be accused of shit Katie didn't do. I'll play the clip a little bit longer just so you can get a better idea of the audio change.
It was like... There's evidence against Katie. I've got evidence against Katie. I've spoken to Katie throughout the year. And I'm covered, not just by her, but by other people too. I have written verbal evidence that's been seen by people here. And we've been waiting for FBI to contact us. We've made a report.
It sounds like a whole different... Oh, you think she meant Katie as in Little Miss Noble? I'm not sure about that, because as you listen to that clip a little bit further, it sounds to me that she's talking about the length of time that she knew Katie, because I guess... Unless she's talking about Little Miss Noble, in which case I have no idea. I don't know which Katie she's talking about, because sometimes she calls her Little Miss Noble, sometimes she calls her Katie, sometimes she calls Katie Joy, sometimes she's very, like, it's very incohesive. It is incredibly difficult to try and sort of narrow down who she's even talking about at any given point in time. So, let me put on Chesh to wind down before I go to bed. This bullshit. Wind down, you said. I apologize. We will get to a little bit more fun. I'm about halfway through my notes. If that makes you feel any better. Yes, it's certainly very, very confusing. 15 minutes, she starts basically accusing Salts of malpractice by, like, saying that he was telling her things that he shouldn't have been telling her based on, like, what was going on in the lawsuit with Toddy and with Swanson. I don't buy that. I don't buy that without any kind of, like, actual... I might not think that Salts is trustworthy. I might think that maybe he plays games on Twitter when he's fishing for information. But I doubt he's that dumb. That's pretty stupid. 17 minutes, 25 seconds-ish. Starts explaining how Salts didn't know who she was, but he trusted her foolishly, which is entirely what she's expecting people to do with this video and her previous videos. We don't know who she is. Nobody knows where she came from. Supposedly she's been Katie Joy or Little Miss Noble's friend for years, and she's very unclear about who she's talking about at which time. And then, of course, she accuses him of making inappropriate comments, which he later on specifies that he is sexually inappropriate with women. Of course, which she provides no proof on, just that it was happening to others that she was told about, and that it also happened to her. I am very tired of women particularly just expecting to be believed about sexual allegations or people being sexually inappropriate, and expect people to... You should believe people as in take them seriously, not believe them at face value with no... believe them to the point where you're asking more questions and taking the accusations seriously, not believe them by fiat. That's really a misnomer about, like... you know, listen, believe. Yeah, yes, listen, believe them that something happened, don't just brush them off. Investigate, that's the asking questions part. And go from there. Nobody should ever be treated as a criminal based off of someone's accusations alone. It's absurd. Listening and taking seriously isn't believing. As in, believe them that something happened. Don't brush them off. Because that's the reason you get a term like believing is because women were not believed for so long. Like, nobody would believe them or take them seriously. And so you get, well, believe me. Well, we're going to believe you in that we're going to investigate. Along those lines. Okay. 19 minutes, 30 seconds. She says she's looking forward to stuff coming out of court, etc., 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 and that she has evidence. Great. We can't do anything. We can't talk about a whole lot. We can't opine about shit we have no information on. So, I don't know why you're making this video. I don't understand. Outside of just trying to stir up shit. Because that's what this kind of by the end, this is kind of what comes up to me. 20 minutes in, I just had a little bit of a personal thought, and she seems to think that because she was a plant, because that's how she describes herself. She describes herself as somebody who was planted to get information, to garner reactions, to get people to behave in a certain way, so she could take that information back to... She started saying she was hired. By whom? It's not really specified. She is told that she's asked by Katie, take your pick which one she's talking about, to get information from salts and stuff like that. So I'm not sure who she's referring to there, and it's very unclear. But that because she was hired or she was a plant, that she somehow she's not responsible, or she's not at fault, or she can't get in trouble for it. I would be suspect to that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Just because, like, if Steve told me to do something illegal and I did it, and I said, oh, but Steve told me to do it, so you still did the illegal thing. It might mean that Steve is also in trouble, depending on what it is that I did, and if Steve can, and if I can prove that Steve told me to do it. Maybe if it was, like, under duress or something, I might be able to get a lighter sentence or potentially get out of it, depending on how awful it was. But you still have culpability for your own actions. So I don't know what makes her think this. I don't know. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. She starts talking about that Kay Baxter stream that Manya covered the other day. And says that Kay asked her to lie and say that everything was Steve's fault. She later backpedals on that, claiming that KJ knew and wanted to frame Steve. Which she says a couple of times that KJ is supposedly framing Steve, or wanted to frame Steve. And then she backpedaled to say she wasn't sure whether Kay knew or not. Like I said, I don't think anything this woman says should be used against Kay. I don't think anything she says should be used to defend Steve, and I don't think anything this woman says should be used to defend or attack Katie. This is so garbled nonsense. We're supposed to take you at face value as you're currently explaining why it would be silly to take you at face value and why you shouldn't be trusted. So why would we trust you? So, she claims that KJ wanted to frame Steve. That doesn't prove anything about Steve nor Katie the other way. I don't know. This is nonsense. 25 minutes, 50 seconds. She claims that she never sent anything to KJ about Steve and that she never spoke to Steve. Again, I don't believe that this actually clears Steve of anything. I think that Steve is cleared of stuff from his own presentation and what he's shown, nothing to do with Nat. And Nat doesn't help or discourage anybody, in my humble opinion. She says that, quote, I know I've done nothing wrong, but she spent all this time admitting that she was doing things and lying to people and baiting people to get information from people and doing a bunch of sketchy shit, all at the request of KJ, so I don't know how she could possibly say that she's done nothing wrong. And then later on in this video apologizes. So I don't know what she's apologizing for if she doesn't think she did anything wrong. 33 minutes and 50 seconds. It kind of... This is where she was sort of explaining a little bit more about how her conversations were void. But it seems to me like she's kind of weaponizing that this is how it sounded to me. And I'll play it for you, and you guys can tell me what you think. Because I do want to play, like, a little bit of this. I just don't want to have the whole thing be me playing it. And because there's just a lot. So I'm just going to go to the 32-ish minute mark. Okay, I got 31:49. And we're going to play 31:40. We're going to play that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
It doesn't matter. And I have rock solid defense and evidence to prove who was responsible for what. And I never put that, like, I'm not responsible for that. I didn't do CP and I didn't send death threats. I wrote some of them and I sent them off to somebody else and someone else posted them.
So she just said, I didn't send anybody death threats, but I wrote the death threats and I gave them to somebody else to send them to the person they were supposed to go to. Okay.
But I didn't send them. Do I know who did? Yeah. Did I make sure I was covered? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Death threats, CP, that's a crime in both countries. And don't be fooled with this bullshit of baloney that, well, she lives in the UK, so you can't prosecute her. You can prosecute people in the UK. That's what Interpol's for. FBI has nationals in so many different countries. They have embassies that they go through. It's not an easy process, but it's doable. And I've never hid from that. I've said throughout to people, just call the police and report it.
All this time she's been saying, I never did anything wrong, though. I don't know how you get I've done nothing wrong to, hold on. We're getting there.
But nobody has. We're here waiting. I know I've done nothing wrong. I mean, I know that obviously I lied, committed perjury myself, but I knew that the thing was void because he didn't go through.
So you just said you committed perjury and that you knew the thing was void. This is what I mean by she's saying this thing is void. So, hold on, let me just...
report it. But nobody has. We're here waiting. I know I've done nothing wrong. I mean, I know that obviously I lied, committed perjury myself, but I knew that the thing was void because he didn't go through the proper channels. So it didn't really matter to me. If he'd have gone through the proper channels, I wouldn't have done it. And I gave him the opportunity to do that, and he just didn't. So that's on him. And then even with knowing all this information, he then did another recorded Zoom call on the 22nd, which he plans to use as evidence, which he can't because it's also void, because he also didn't go through the proper channels for that, or use an appropriate adult, knowing that that's what I needed.
Okay. I didn't do anything wrong. I lied and committed perjury, but I only did that because I knew it was void, because I need to have a proper adult with me and he didn't go through the proper channels. If you know this much, in a way that you can plan it and manipulate it to be that way, and be that cognizant about when you can get away with lying and when you can't in regards to perjury, how can you possibly then make the argument that you need to have an adult to take care of you? Clearly this is information that you know and you have and are cognizant of. I do not know how these things match. I don't know. This is like absurd to me. What? April Vaughn for 5 says I subtract my prior opinion. And listen, we're not gonna hold you to that. I just don't know. This is what I mean by it sounds like she's trying to weaponize the list of disabilities that she has or has been diagnosed with to try to take advantage of the law for some reason. I don't. Also, maybe if she is mentally unwell, maybe her knowledge of the law is not as thorough as she thinks. Helios makes a fantastic point. How can we believe anything that she says if she needs a proper adult to monitor when she's talking to somebody? Yes. So why would we believe this video? Why would we believe previous videos? Why would we believe any tweets? Why would we believe anything she says about anybody ever? Why would we believe anything she says about KJ? Why would we believe anything she says about Salt? Why would we believe anything she says about Tina? Why would we believe anything that there are actually any accusations anybody made child porn? Why would we believe anything about this? But this sounds like weaponization to me. This sounds like manipulation. At 35 minutes, she claims that the previous videos that we talked about on Sunday were bait. That they were there to get some kind of information from Salts and to get Salts to talk to her again. She claims that it worked. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's not. But there's another contradiction in there where she says that she's waiting for the proper authorities, then also starts to talk about and comment about why, when Salt said that the FBI is doing this and that and the other thing on Twitter from Sunday, she says, why would the authorities tell you anything? Why would they say anything to Salts? Okay, but why would they say anything to you? So why are we taking your word for it? This makes no sense. At 40 minutes, she claims that she has recordings of KJ and Salts and documentation of Salts, and like has a lot of his information. And the way she says it's kind of threatening. It sounds like she's being like, oh, I have this information, like you're going down. And I'm like, 43 minutes, she claims that she gave information to Salts and gave him evidence that he chose to ignore in regards to Swanson and KJ. She doesn't say what that evidence is. Of course, she doesn't present anything. She doesn't go, this is what I mean by she's being specifically vague. She's being specific, very specific and very vague. She's specifically saying that Salts has ignored evidence and didn't use it and ignored her. Ignoring her seems like the smart thing at this point, but regardless, she doesn't give any of the information actually surrounding that for anybody to be able to make any kind of proper assessment. So you can't make an assessment about whether or not her accusation about Salts is accurate because she doesn't give you enough information about what it was that he supposedly ignored. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. 43 minutes, 40 seconds later, she says, quotes, everything will come out in court. I'm not afraid of you in regards to Saltz or the FBI. My defense is solid. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I don't think your defense is very solid if this is what you got. Even if you have screenshots that back up everything you've said in here, even the contradictory stuff, I don't think... you sound very bold, currently. 44 minutes, 20-ish seconds. She's talking about her issue. Oh yeah, I went over this, cause she's talking about her issues and claims that she doesn't tend to show her struggle with DID online. I immediately call bullshit on that, cause if you use it or try to explain away things or take responsibility for things that your alters are doing regularly online, that is 100% you showing your struggle with DID online. 100%, that's what that is. And again, if you have these things, that sucks. That's horrible for you. I'm not going to mock you or try to take advantage of you or anything like that. That would be absurd and ridiculous, but you are making choices, and I'm going to talk about and criticize your choices because you've done and put them out in the public sphere in a way that makes it sound like you really, really, really want everyone to talk about your claims. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm not talking about her claims very much. I'm not saying where they're true or where they're not true or what is and is not. What I'm saying is she's said these things. She has made these claims. We're not talking about what Saltz may or may not have done. We're not talking about what KJ may or may not have done. We're not talking about what Tina absolutely didn't do. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about what is being said by this person, what their behavior is like, and whether or not we should trust them and being critical about what we're hearing. Bob and Carrie Kennedy said, questioning by an attorney on their own accord has zero constitutional protections for U.S. or U.K. residents. It's considered a voluntary statement. The FBI or Interpol would act accordingly, but nice try. That actually, if that's accurate, thank you. Thank you for the comment. Regardless, but you make a very good point, because she says she committed perjury. If she was just being interviewed or just talking with Saltz, that wouldn't be under penalty of perjury. Perjury only applies to court. So I don't know what situation in which, unless she wasn't talking to Saltz and was talking to the FBI, and if she was talking to the FBI in that case and not Saltz in that case, and the FBI didn't go through the proper channels, a lot of this stuff is kind of gets sticky real fast. Real fast. Then at 46 minutes, she claims that she's waiting for a link to send her evidence. So she's saying she's having all these conversations with the FBI and she's got all this evidence and she's already in talks and this person's going to be in trouble and that person's going to be in trouble and she knows that she's in the clear. And then says she's waiting for a link to send the evidence. That makes me question if you're talking to anybody of any relevance. Because you shouldn't have to wait any considerable amount of time for an email to be sent to you to be like, hey, email your stuff here. That's usually the kind of thing that happens at the same time you're having whatever initial conversation you're having. So like that got a big red flag off of that, because that does not seem to be anything that makes sense. John says, if I remember correctly, Nat gave a deposition to Saltz during the Toddy versus KJ suit. If that's what she is talking about, it is very unclear, because she sounds like she's talking about the hacking-y stuff. But I don't know. Maybe that is what she's talking about. This is, like I said, this is very, although more coherent than the last one, when you set the bar so low. I don't know. Helio says, honestly, she is the one that brought up her DID and used it immediately as an excuse for her actions, and she did this not only in her last video, but in every video she has made that I have ever heard. Yeah, fair enough. Dark Magician said, so people believed Nat when she said she couldn't work a microwave, but found KJ on YouTube and had an Instagram account and was DMing KJ, and knew enough to delete those messages before she sent them to Salts. John Park says, according to Salts, the FBI has declared Nat a liar, and she is solely responsible for all this drama. I didn't see that, but, ballsy of some people to show up here. Hey, sweetheart. I think she actually goes in at 48 minutes to talk about what John brought up and says she describes how KJ was working with that KJ working with Salts is BS, and she says how she can demonstrate that's the case by saying, look at how Salts behaves, as in he never talks to KJ publicly, right? Then she immediately says about what Salts was saying in regards to her and the FBI, saying, where's the proof of that? We're just gonna believe everything this guy says. Why would we believe everything you say? I don't understand. It's the same problem. It's a compounding issue. Like, she seems to expect people to believe her, while at the same time explaining why people shouldn't believe her. 50 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm going to play a little bit of this, because this gets a little bit... I think this woman thinks she's Moriarty. Like, she seems to think that she's outsmarted everybody, fooled everybody, got everything exactly. All the pieces have moved exactly the way she planned, and it's really kind of made me like eek, a little bit of eek. So let's hit play, and I'll see what you guys think.
It isn't like telling him enough. Can't trust anything that man says. He doesn't vet any of his sources or any of his information at all. And he tells people things on DMs. He spoke to half like that community, and he was very sexual with a lot of his DMs to female people. Just
because, of course, let's just accuse men of being sexually inappropriate with no evidence to back anything up. Of course.
He was inappropriate with me and my alters, and it's all documented dying. And people are like KJ said to me, Salts is a slime ball. Salts is a slime ball, and I'm like, Salts is too. Should we compare notes? So, just a lot of you need safety courses on the internet, because a lot of you told me your life story or things that you wouldn't tell anybody else, kind of thing, and I just passed that information back on to KJ. Within 6 months, I knew like 30 or 40 of your real names, addresses, phone numbers, the works, just through things that you actually told me without even knowing that you were talking to me. It's just crazy. You give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves with it, basically. You give someone a little bit of information, and if you take it like this, so basically within the community, say there was a big community of people, so there's 100 people in the community, and
I would hardly call 100 people a big community, but it's neither here nor there.
I make up an account where I'm person A, and then I make up another account and I'm person B, and person A says something crazy like about person B. So person A is getting to know all these people, and person B is getting to know all these people, and then person A says something nasty about person B, and then person B fires back something to person A. And then all the people underneath person B are like, well, that's my friend, so I need to defend person B. And then all these people underneath person A are like, well, no, person A can't be lying. Like, you need to like back off. And it just created a split down the middle. Person A and person B are the same person, but none of you know that. And then it just happened all the way down the ranks. It just split everybody down. And it was the easiest thing to do, and it just created chaos.
For someone who needs a guardian, Letty says, reminds me of the random person in high school who pretends to know what's happening about other people but actually knows nothing. Yeah. Yeah, this comes off as like I'm the edgy Moriarty of the internet and I can make people do whatever I want. There is a degree of like sort of a warning in here. I mean, it's not really well given, I guess, but yeah, if you've watched me and Steve on Caffeine Corner, if you've sort of watched us for a little while, the internet is not a safe place. Facebook isn't safe. Be careful about what information you give to people. It matters about people can find information off of you based on some of the things you said, even if you didn't give them direct information. And you don't know who people are sometimes, so you should be cautious when people approach you or when you approach other people. There are boundaries there, and it should take time to get to know somebody. Just like you would in real life, but with degrees of separation. Degrees of separation. But it's also why you want to try to cultivate a community or a group of people around you or support system of people that, one, will call you on your bullshit when they think you're wrong, or maybe it's not bullshit, maybe they're like, hey, listen, I don't think you're handling this very well, or hey, maybe you need to take a step back, or hey, you know what, I agree with you, but maybe approach it this way instead. Have a good support system, but also people in the community who think about the shit people are saying, so they don't just go off half-cocked over something somebody has said while demonstrating nothing. Like, nobody should be going off about this audio that I'm playing. I'm pointing at it, but there's nothing on the screen. Nobody should be going off about any of these accusations, because anybody with 2 brain cells ought to be able to rub them together and say, well, this person has been very much admitted and has told me exactly how untrustworthy they are. Therefore, I should not trust their accusations on face value. Now, when things come out in court, then there'll be something we can talk about, some meat to what we can deal with. But right now, this is just like, all right, whatever. Why do we care? Why are we listening to you? If it's going to come out anyway, you're here to tell us that here's these accusations, and also I can't show it to you at all. But it's kind of half of what I said last time. Last time I was like, listen, if you're going to try to take responsibility, then take responsibility and explain what's going on with your screenshots. Lay it all out for us. Great, cool, thanks. Or say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to get out. I can't explain everything. Everything will come out in court, my bad. But she did half of both of those things. She decided to make a bunch of accusations, not show anything to do with it, and then also give an excuse to not show any proof of the accusations or demonstrate any of these things or even remotely true whatsoever by saying it's court. The point is to say this without, like, say that you can't say anything without trying to throw other people under the bus. Because they're going to get thrown under the bus in court, if you're that confident. This isn't rocket science. This is basic communication. Helios 57545. So she just admitted that she is a piece of shit that betrays people's trust regularly, lies, and creates drama to harm people for fun. Yes. So it was, however, if her description of her DID is correct, and accurate, then one of her altars is like this, at least. How that applies to the others, I don't know. Maybe if she needs to have a guardian at all times, she should have a guardian at all times. And maybe if she needs to have a guardian at all times, nobody should believe a goddamn thing she says whenever the guardian is not there. Boop. Brilliant, I know. She says some stuff about Shen's panty liner. Shen's doesn't like me. Hasn't liked me for a long time. I don't remember when she lost her shit at me, and I don't know what it was for. I just remember she got really pissed at me for something, went off, and I was like, okay. I don't think anybody should listen to anything Nat says about Shen's in this. Nobody should, like, take what Nat is saying without such a large grain of salt that there's nothing actually there except salt. I like, I don't know. Where's this person's parents? That's a reference for Jack in the chat. 54 minutes. Okay, you have to hear this. You will not believe this. Your jaw will drop. Are you ready? I put it at 53:34. Ready? You're not gonna believe this.
And I was like, this bitch? Seriously? Wants to start?
Oh, she's calling Shen's a bitch for doing the same thing that she did. I don't know.
Me, like, she was like, I know everything about Natalie. I know her entire history. I'm like, when I spoke to Irish to get, like, information, and I was just, like, listening, I just give it, like, I told her so much bullshit about, like, my life, because I wanted to see how far they would take it, and they would just lapped it up like a lapdog. Oh, God. It was funny to me, it was comical that when someone, like, they wanted me to be this big bag wolf kind of thing, all on my own, to the point where they believed anything I said. Why would I choose Irish? If I was, like, I mean, I'm telling the truth now, because I got nothing, like, I've got the information I need, and I got the response that I need, like, I'm done now, I'm ready to just, poof, gone.
Well, she's telling the truth now, because she said so. She got what she needed. Mr. Sirius says she needs an adult. She's telling the truth now, though, guys. It's fine. It's all good. She's got nothing more to gain. She doesn't have any... There's no reason for her to keep fucking with everybody and taking people's information from here and giving them to somebody over there. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's fine. Come on, Smitty. She's telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. It's her truth. It's my truth. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What is your winning scheme? Hey, Bearded Heretic. How's it going? I also would like to make a 10 questions for atheist videos along with you, but I have to get to it probably next week. 55 minutes says she's saying like things, people have a hard time understanding her and stuff, and I'm like, no one can make any sense of your nonsense. It's because it's nonsense. 55 minutes and 50 seconds. She says it's all going to come out in time and I look forward to it. It just sounds like posturing to me. And it sounds really familiar with how we hear people like Katie talking about being all ready and good to go for court. And Kyle, oh yeah, take me to court. Come on, let's go. I'm ready. I've got everything. Let's go fight me. And then like deleting and scrambling to get information, and it sounds the same. It sounds the same to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me. 56 minutes, 20 seconds. She starts going into apologies. She says she owes Steve an apology, Dottie an apology, Tina an apology, Aaron an apology for not making it crystal clear that they weren't involved and involving Dottie. So interesting thing about that is that it wasn't that she didn't make it crystal clear that they weren't involved. It's that they were saying that they were involved. Like, she was saying they were involved. The people around her were saying they were involved. So she's apologizing for not making it crystal clear that they weren't involved, while being the one making the accusations that they were involved. So that apology is for the wrong thing, interestingly enough. Then she wants to apologize to the community. She gives out, like, or like everybody, like the anti-KJ community, the people that don't like KJ but aren't really part of that group of people, Steve and his community, Tina, Aaron's community, all you guys that are here right now. She wants to apologize to everybody and says it was nothing personal. She just wanted, it was never about KJ, it was all about exposing salts. For some reason. There is no explanation as to why or how that makes any sense. I don't know. I can't answer that. I have no... It doesn't make any sense. And, that's as far as I got. I'm missing, like, the last 5 minutes or so, because she goes off to, like, apologizing to everybody, and she's like, oh, you know, I might sound like a real apology because, you know, whatever, something. And Mr. Sirius says, wait, which altar is apologizing? They didn't introduce themselves at the beginning of the video, so I don't know. I don't know if this is Nat or this is some altar. I have no idea. I noted that earlier. But those are my notes. I'll see if I can get or find a way to get you guys the full audio, and I'll put my notes with it, so that way you guys can kind of jump around the timestamps as you see fit. And I feel like we should do something a little bit more fun, because that was a lot to go through, and I didn't even play it. You see why I didn't want to, like, play every single piece? I would have just been stop, go, and gotten nowhere, so I made notes and did this way instead. You let me know what you think, if this worked for you, that didn't work for you. I think depending on what the content is, there'll have to be, like, more or longer clips, especially when there's visuals available. There was no visuals available. But I think we should look at something a little bit fun. However, it's also a little bit awful. So, trigger warning for transphobia. And we'll get to that. But we're also going to have some fun with it too. This is a clip that Keon got off of a video, a 40-minute video by Trio Monkey, who we've covered on this channel before with some of their absolutely bonkers bananas comments. So if you look at the McCrazy's response after, like, so I did the video about sort of the McCrazy's and then did see what they had to say about things. And what their responses were and what the comment section said. Trio Monkey was featured in that video. So if you want to see a little bit more of that nonsense, go for it. But this was just fun, and I want to show it to you guys real quick. So let me just turn this right on. Hey! You like my little... Look at this. Yeah, this is right here. So this is Keon's clip together. So, let's go!
Hello to everybody. Hi. Yeah, he's...
I turn on closed captioning for you guys. It's got a cute little monkey in, like, a jail outfit. Is the monkey in jail? I will need to know what the lore is for this. Is he? Oh no. Is that racist? I don't know.
Been mad. He ran across the other end of the island, you know. He was just scavenging like he always does, but then he didn't decide to come back. So come to find out, he was passed out with some fermented coconuts. I didn't know they can do that. Well, at least that's what he tells me. Right.
Fermented coconuts. Fermented coconut water is the water from green coconuts that have been fermented using culture to inoculate the water with various yeasts and beneficial bacteria. It has made the process similar to fermented drinks such as kombucha. So yes, you can ferment coconuts. We learned something today. I also got to, luckily for me, learn what trio monkey looks like. And for somebody who spends a whole lot of time making fun of the way other people look, let's just say that he's on brand for the castaway look of his stream. I think it's fair. On brand. I like it.
Right? Yeah, fermented coconuts. I don't know. All I know is that he was cutting up some shavings of coconuts and freaking snorting them. So yeah. So did you like that? Did you like that? There is two types of people in this world. It's Chesh and then literally everybody else.
Well, I am a goblin, so it kind of makes sense. There's only one me, man. There's only one person like me out there. We're all unique. I love this.
Like whatever they represent, she represents, I have no idea. We just don't know. I mean,
you could ask nicely. What do I represent? Actually, to be fair, I don't think I know the answer to that either.
I have no clue to whether or not she has, like, is it a she? Oh, legit. Like, I don't know. Are we just like, you know, do we have to guess pronouns now? I just don't know. I mean, it'd be nice. Because...
You want to know what my pronouns are?
I don't know what kind of look she's going for here. Is it even a she? I don't even know. It's like, I feel like it's Pat from SNL. You know, I have no idea. I just don't know. I mean, yeah, probably get some shit for that. But you know what? I honestly can't tell anymore. I don't know. Seems like she's going through a transition, and I'm full for it. I support it. But come on, let the world know. Because...
So you support me if I'm transitioning, but you demand to know. And that the world cares. So, like, besides, like, how blatantly transphobic this is, I'm not offended. I don't know why I've had to explain this so many times. I am not offended by being called trans. I'm not even offended by being called an it, which is a little bit on the nose for somebody that you're trying to say is, that's kind of the transphobic bit. I know you probably need this explained to you, which is why you're asking. EMP for 5 said, where's Wilson the ball with the coconut hair? Or ear. I don't know, maybe it's behind the screen. The blindingly white YouTube screen that this man doesn't use dark mode. Trish, this is somebody named, this is somebody who goes by Trio Monkey. They hang out on Twitter a lot. I'm gonna pop this back a little bit.
Let the world know. Because right now, the world has no idea what goes on in your little head, because it ain't working right. So, you know. By the way, you can just, you know, unscrew it off like that so you can use it again.
Oh shit, I've been throwing them out every time. I've been picking up a new one at the dollar store every time and then tossing it out because it had a cork in it. I didn't know you could fucking just unscrew a screw. Who knew that? I never knew the function of a screw, that the whole point was that it could go in and out. In and out.
See? That's how that works too. Literally everybody else. It's trash.
This is the most obscure and bizarre way to ask for a dick pic I have ever seen in my life. This guy really wants to know if I have a dick or not. And, you know, it's a little bit much to think that the world demands to care, but I mean, I didn't know you cared that much. I mean, I got here, I can do a little bit. I can oblige at least a little bit for you. Hold on, let me turn on a light real quick. I don't know about you, but I don't know what kind of tiny ass junk you're packing, but I assure you that there is no way that my giant cock and balls would fit in these pants. Just saying. My colossal dick would not fit. Tie goes in, tie goes out. You can't explain that. Oh, thank you, Keon, for making me aware of this. But one of the things that kind of got them, for anybody who doesn't know, by the way, if you have any questions, start asking. But one of the reasons they started on this transition thing was something that Unirock started, and there was a joke about this forever ago from Russian Vids, right? Russian Vids was, who's a flat earther. The best way to describe Russian Vids is if you believe in one conspiracy theory, you believe in all the conspiracy theories. And so, yeah, the whole thing seems to be that I got a haircut, and Unirock and crew, because this is the person you want. Sorry, I'm still getting used to my new setup. This is the guy you want in your crew. He looks like he was trapped in Jumanji. Anyways, whole bit is that I'm trans because I got a haircut, right? Like, cause that's how that works. If only being trans was so simple, then maybe there would be less of an issue for, and serious issues for trans people. But if it's whatever length of hair is what dictates whether you're trans or not, what's the changeover? Is it like, if my hair gets to here, I look like a girl? If my hair gets to here, I look like a girl? If my hair gets to here, do I look like a girl? I need to know this because your hair's pretty long, dude. I'm just asking questions. Jumanji over here with his fucking micro dick thinks he could fit in these fucking pants. I feel like no. I feel like probably not. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, I thought that was funny and a good time, and I wanted to share. Hi, Puck. Yes, hello. He's a good boy. But thank you. We have all now been educated. I know I learned at least 2 things. Well, 3 things. One, I learned that fermented coconuts I kind of figured you could ferment coconuts because there's like a lot of stuff that you don't utilize that, and it makes sense. You can pretty much ferment anything. But I looked it up, and so therefore I have learned about fermenting coconuts. 2, I have learned that screws can be unscrewed. As somebody who worked in maintenance at a factory and who spends time fixing machinery, I didn't realize that screws could go in and out. You know, screws. So I've been throwing out those wine things every single time, but now I know I can use them again. I don't know why nobody told me this sooner. And lastly, I learned that Trio Monkey looks like Robin Williams from Jumanji when he comes back out of the fucking jungle. What is his name? Adam something? Adam Parrish, I think is the character's name. But he is not nearly as funny as Tom Hanks or Robin Williams, nor as good looking as either of them. But hey, you know, there's no accounting for taste. He doesn't think I'm attractive. I don't think he's attractive. I think that's fair. Side note, I am changing my Twitter name. I'm changing my Twitter handle to Adorably Androgynous. Because, I mean, if you want to talk about a look that is super, like, on point, let me show you. Let me show you a look. Bruh. Hot. I'm here for it. I am here for the androgynous. Look at this. Oh, you guys can't see that bit. Let me make it bigger. Is it gonna... No, I don't want to open the link. I want to open the picture. Open image. Look at that. Boom. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Can we get like this? Tweak a little bit. Let's just do... That's a look, man. That's a look. I'd take that. I don't have the time or energy to maintain a look like that. I'm a lazy fuck. Damn. Look at that. This is what comes up if you type in the word androgynous. And then click on images. Click on images. You got to quick. Like, hell yeah. I'm here for it. I'll take androgynous, man. I will take androgynous. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had for today. So, you know, besides the horrendous transphobia, which, you know, I'm not terribly, I'm not gonna get offended by Trio Monkey calling me an it, but if you're calling trans people it, yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's not cool, dude. If you want to know someone's pronouns, the appropriate thing would be to ask politely. And if you want to see someone's dick, the appropriate thing to do is also to ask politely. They might reciprocate for you. Then you'll know what one looks like. You know, unless you're just using Unirock as your unit of measurement for dick. But, you know, as you do. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? Because I did come to hang out, and I know I ended up talking a lot and didn't take very many questions, so I want to spend a little bit of time asking you guys about what you think. Oh, you guys are going from Wendy's? Yo, pick me up something from Wendy's, man. I love Wendy's. Wendy's is one of my favorites. Androgynous doesn't mean what the internet thinks it does. Huge surprise. Shocking, I know. Imagine being able to Google search something in 30 seconds. Awkward. Awkward. Hair length is indicative of gender, then Trio's hippie locks might have something to say about that. I mean, yeah, probably. According to him, I guess. There's a Wendy's 4 minutes. Yeah, I moved a little bit. Where I live now, there's not a Wendy's super duper close, so I'm not gonna get Wendy's. But I had a salad earlier that was delicious, and I have a little bit of chicken. Not Parmesan. Pesto. I have chicken pesto waiting for me. I haven't tried dipping the fries in the Wendy's cheese sauce. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that next time. I've done the dipping the fries in like the Frosty. Super good. Super delish. Nobody slipped Cheshire Viagra. Just button bursts. Just. Chris has never seen a Wendy's. Oh, I am sorry for you. That's sad. I guess I should close the poll while I'm at this. Did it let me end the poll? Okay, I think it worked. Wendy's cheese sauce, French fry. Got it. You made the chili? Like at home? You know how to make their chili at home? You gotta start passing people around that recipe. You gotta do that. I need to move this little subscribe dude. Like, it's super cute, but I don't really have a good spot for it. I don't like it over there. Maybe up here. Let's put it in the top corner. Expect there to be some hiccups over the next couple streams while I get stream elements set up, by the way. Bearded Hair Chick says, we're good people. We are supportive of this genuinely good guy and are against this weird short-haired woman and her weird long-haired balding man friend. We judge them based on their hair alone. Steve's a woman, I'm a man. Probably? Maybe, I don't know. You're gonna make ratatouille? I've never had that before. Dip the fries in Italian dressing? Put it in the center of the screen. Boop. There you go. Wendy's fries smothered in chili and cheese. That sounds like crazy fries to me, and crazy fries are delicious. I love crazy fries. Oh, there's something I saw that I'm gonna end up talking about later. I'm not gonna talk about it too much right now, but this is a teaser. I saw a man jokingly asking about why women watch true crime, because he's like, listen, the reason I look at watching shows and taking in knowledge is a little bit utilitarian. So I don't understand why you guys are watching these true crimes. Why are you looking up information on how to murder people or get away with murder? And this woman got really upset and made a video saying that, oh, we're not watching, because you're a man, you don't understand that we're not watching the video based on, or as the perpetrator, we're watching it as the victim. I've learned that I can survive this or do that because I've watched these shows. And I feel like I have to have a whole conversation now about how entertainment is not education. Shows that are meant to entertain you are not going to educate you in self-defense. Dexter should not, do not use Dexter as a way to recognize someone as a serial killer or as a way that someone might try to kill you if they are a serial killer. Don't use those as a baseline for self-defense or how to protect yourself or how to survive situations. If you want to learn those things, go and find educational programming, not entertainment. Dear Lord, I do not understand why I need to explain this. I do not understand how I have to look at full-grown ass adults and say, don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Why is hair such an issue? Asked Nancy. I don't know. I mean, my hair's an issue because I do a bad job controlling it and maintaining it and doing the. I already need trims and I haven't done it. All I have are kitchen scissors. But if you're asking Trio Monkey, you'll have to, I mean, I wouldn't recommend talking to Trio Monkey. That seems just like a bad time. But it's like, he doesn't seem like a pleasant person to converse with. But, you know, if you want to know why he's got a problem with hair, or why he cares about my hair so much, I mean, you'll have to ask him. Yes, take a self-defense class. True crime shows are exciting little stories. That's why people watch them. Yes! For the most part, yes. That's why the man in the story was joking. He was making a joke. And why the woman got mad. How dare you question me as to why I'm watching shows about murder? I'm learning how to defend myself, good sir. If true crime was realistic and representative of actual crime, it would mainly be about fraud. Yeah, probably. That's actually pretty true. Makes sense to me. Like, do you identify as either a vampire or a vampire hunter to watch a movie about them? Yeah. I don't know which one I would pick. I'm up late I'm up late most of the time, but I also really like garlic. I like watching interrogations, but not to learn anything. I just like watching people interact in really high pressure situations. Yeah, you're not gonna. It's not education. I like the cold case ones nowadays, where DNA and evidence and science catch people and families, get answers, and closure, and so many more after so many more years. Yeah, yeah. It's certainly entertaining. It's certainly dramatic. It's certainly nothing wrong with watching any of it. It's just a matter of, like, are you... This is not a show on how to survive. If you want to know how to survive, go take a self-defense course. Oh, I turned the light on. That's the difference there, Dapper. Forensic files? Yeah, for sure. Since murder is such a new phenomenon in society, interest in these shows is at a zenith. Yeah, what a concept. Imagine that. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn this light back off. This is a chill stream. We chillin'. We hanging out. Netflix documentaries are not education. They are so biased. Yes! Entertainment is not education. If you want to be educated, go seek out education. If you want to be entertained, seek out entertainment. There are some shows that are entertaining and educational, but they figure out which one is which. So girls with short hair are boys, and boys with long hair are girls. Lola la la lo. Yes. Yeah, apparently. That's how basic gender roles are to people like Uni's crowd. Gender, sexism, trans stuff. It all just depends on how long your hair is. And probably if you have a beard. I wish I could grow a beard. I would totally grow a mustache if I could grow a mustache. I use the mustache filter. The only filter I use on Instagram is the mustache filter. And then I sit there and I wish I had a mustache. There are 4 lights. It's like, oh, I watched Supernatural and it taught me how to steal from banks. Like, what? Taught me how to pretend to being an FBI agent. Huh. I've never watched any true crime, so it may... I guess I'm gonna have to. Yes, Buck. It looks like I'm being yelled at to get off stream. We are almost at the 2-hour mark. Be careful what you wish for. Mustache comes later in life. Listen, if I get old, eventually, supposedly I'll be not 17 one day. If I get old and I start growing a mustache, I will probably start shaving it in the hopes that it will come in thicker, and probably buy myself some of that, like, hair increasing cream so I can have, like, a Dr. Jim Majors mustache that's like, I'm gonna be a twirly mustache villain and I'll get myself a monocle. Look, I got my D&D book out and everything, and I was just hanging out, ready to do D&D stuff. But no, I don't get to do that. I gotta listen to this stupid fucking video and then be called an it by a transphobe. Such is life. Clutch my pearls. I'm so offended. Alright. I think I am ready to call that a wrap for today. I'm not seeing too many questions left over. So, feel free to leave any questions in the comments. I will be hopefully able to get to those. And I'll be more than happy to read them. I will be back on Friday with a big expose video. We'll be taking a look at, we'll be going back to Canadian Atheist and checking to see some more of that. I don't want to spoil it, but there is a trailer, and that is just the fact that I'm informing you that the trailer is just scratching the surface of what I'm going to show you should give you a solid understanding of the absolute that it's just gonna get worse. So Canadian Atheist is going to be a we'll be doing an expose video, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like calling things that, but yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's bads, and I'll show you guys everything on Friday. Alicia, for 4 months membership, said, I am here for the stash. I am also here for the stash. Don't forget to like and sub and hit the bell and all that fun stuff. Find me on Twitter, links down below. If you want a shirt with this cute little goblin on it, you can go get one of those. There's merchandise down below if you're interested in that. I will see you guys next time. I look forward to having more conversations and chatty things that are a little bit more open-ended. Maybe I'll be able to do one where you guys can call in and chat. But yeah, feel free to link the trailer. Oh, and also, may all of us be blessed by Waxy this day, and we all be forgiven for our sins. Be blessed, my children, by Waxy, for hath thou been forgiven in this, perhaps, maybe never. Have a good night, everybody. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.